The Iran crisis could be going through yet another major escalation. Oh, just think, Lark, they've been escalating all week. Oh, they've been escalating all week. We're escalating again, guys. Trump's going to be pissed. We got a lot to cover in today's video. The latest from the most important story in the financial world right now, which is, of course, Straits of Hormuz, and charts for Bitcoin stocks. We got the goods, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. In something that could truly be from a South Park skit, the new Ayatollah, they made a cardboard cutout. Not even a very good cardboard cutout, man. Sign of the times in Iran, I guess. This was his election ceremony. Can't make this shit up, man. Straight out of South Park. It's crazy. Anyway. Reports are coming out from U.S. intelligence that Iran has started mining the Straits of Hormuz. Now, this is... whether or not this is going to be true is going to really be the defining story here. And I think there's some stories about to share with you in just a second that say maybe they are not mining the Straits. But of course, that is the threat. That is the rumor. And the rumor mill goes wild when people start... when one person drops something, everyone just loses their minds, right? So here's the deal, though. Mining the Strait would effectively shut it down. It would force the U.S. to have to come in with their demining ships, the French, the Brits, and everybody else who has demining ships to come in and remove the sea mines. Okay, sea mines are indiscriminate. They stop all traffic in and out. Because if you run into a sea mine, and they can be floating anywhere, your ship goes boom, boom, right? And there's a couple stories that we're going to share in a second that makes me think maybe this story is lacking the authenticity that some may like to see, okay? But also, we have some interesting developments out of Saudi Arabia that could put the Straits crisis in a bit of different context here as well, okay? But this was going around the rumor mill last night that the Iranians have started taking out mines. I was thinking, well, didn't the U.S. blow up all their ships? Yeah, but they have all these little speedboats and stuff like that, very small vessels that can probably just drag one mine out behind them. There's always a way. Where's a will, there's a way. The question is there a will, and is there evidence that there is a will for mining the Straits of Hormuz, going beyond just targeted strikes of drone strikes versus non-aligned tankers, right? Well, here's a couple interesting stories to sort of give a counterpoint to this narrative around mining the Strait. First is this. Iran has officially agreed to grant safe passage to Bangladeshi oil and LNG vessels traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. Under the new agreement, Bangladeshi ships must notify Iranian authorities for entering the strategic waterway to ensure secure transit. Now, this is very interesting because remember, mines are indiscriminate. They'll blow up anybody's ship. So why would they be letting Bangladeshi ships through if they knew there's a bunch of mines there? Think about it. Also, my guess is that the Bangladeshi shipping industry is about to get a huge boost. I mean, how many ships are about to reflag to Bangladeshi flags over the next week or two to be able to get safe passage through? I bet a lot. You watch. You watch, man. Boom times for Bangladesh. Let's go, baby. Iran is also, though, exporting. Remember, they control the Strait, and everybody else is afraid to go through because they want their tankers to get droned. But Iran's not going to drone their own tankers, and until the U.S. starts sinking Iranian tanker ships, they're still exiting the Strait. Oil is still flowing, and it's going to China. China, the one country, is probably not going to have to tap their strategic reserves of 1.2 billion barrels, biggest in the world, by the way. No, they're still getting oil deliveries straight from Iran. Interesting. Everybody else can't go through, but Iranian and now apparently Bangladeshi ships can. So this is interesting. Now look, if enough Chinese ships can go through, for example, Chinese ships too, by the way. Chinese ships, obviously Iran's letting his ally bring in their ships too. So then could we actually see a, let's say, elevated price for oil, but some kind of a stabilization situation where Iranian, Chinese, and Bangladeshi ships are all getting through, going to Bangladesh and China, and that then there's a resale market, much like we had all these sanctions against Russia, right? And then the Russians just sold their oil to China, and China then would resell it to somebody else, or they'd sell it to India, and India would then move it from one ship to the next, and then sail it over to Europe and sell it at a markup. Where there's a will, there's a way, okay? Life finds a way. It's a very interesting story. Drop site posted this, about 35% of the oil that normally transits the Strait of Hormuz is still reaching export markets, according to Bloomberg's Javier Blas. Saudi Arabia's moves to ramp up exports in the Red Sea will cause that number to go up to 63% in the next couple of days. So this is very, very interesting, okay? Particularly in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's east-west pipeline to the Red Sea, okay, which could lift total crude reaching the markets about 9.5 million barrels. So they're going to up it from about 1 million currently to about 5 or 6 million per day through that particular pipeline. UAE is still getting exported oil out through the Indian Ocean and the Fujairah pipeline, okay? So there are ways that the oil is moving through these big pipelines. Plus, Iran, China, Bangladesh oil still going through the strait. So perhaps more oil is going to get through the strait than people think, or it's going to simply avoid the strait and go through Saudi pipelines. So it's interesting. Perhaps the crisis is not quite, when you look at the details, not quite as crazy as people may think. I know hyperventilating on social media gets people to think otherwise, but the IEA is considering its biggest ever strategic oil reserve release to help cool crude prices. Now looking at 100, they talk about 400 million barrels. They did 182 million back in 2022 around the Russia-Ukraine conflict crisis in the oil markets. They're looking around 400 million this time. And again, perhaps the actual impact is going to be much less than people think that it's going to be. And in a few weeks or months, if the crisis continues, perhaps markets will adjust and China is going to be a major oil exporter again. FundStrat's Tom Lee says higher oil prices might actually be good for the market. Let's hear what old man Tom has to say here.
I think it's very difficult if someone's trying to trade both the headlines or trade oil. But if I look back at the last 2 days, oil's $15 higher than it was last week, but the S&P's higher. So to me, the market actually is handling higher oil prices better. And, you know, we wrote in our note this morning that we think higher oil prices are actually good for the U.S. stock market.
Tom, the only thing that people want to know is, are higher oil prices good for Ethereum or not? That's it, man. That's it. Everything else is just noise, brother. Crude oil, after that massive correction, sitting around 90 bucks, so trading around the prices of late last week, still pricing in extreme uncertainty in the markets, but not the end of the world scenario yet, okay? Prices, even at the peak of uncertainty on Monday, were $14 per barrel less than the peak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Oil spiked back in early 22. SPX futures in the green. Stocks just keep fucking going up, man. It's crazy. Stocks rejected yesterday at the 20-day EMA. The 20-day EMA is now trading below the 50-day EMA. Yellow line under the blue line here, as you can see, has not happened for stocks for a very long time. Last time it happened was back here in March 25. We went down a lot after that, by the way. Just FYI. We'll see what happens this time. But currently, futures markets are showing a slight increase in prices, okay? My Solana trade's still open. It's in the red by $357 currently. I'm probably going to get stopped out. I'm only $1.17 away from the stop loss. The move did not have the kind of legs that I was hoping that it was going to have. But hey, if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. I'm going to keep it open and just let that happen if that's the case. Otherwise, let's see if stocks going up today can drag crypto up a little bit with it. If you want to join me trading over on BitUnix, there is a link down below. Right there. Go check it out. When you click on that link, you'll get exclusive deposit bonuses. You put in $500 to get $100 back, $1,000 to get $200 back, $2,000 to put $400 cash money back in your account. Plus, BitUnix is available to everyone, everywhere, which is, of course, you. So no matter where you are, you can trade on BitUnix. You can long the rips, short the dips. They got the coins you want to trade. They got the liquidity that you need. They got the tools you need. So if you're looking for a great exchange to do your futures trading on, BitUnix has got you covered. Link down below. Go check it out. So, Solana, it's just chilling right here at 20-day EMA, man. Chilling. I want to see it bounce from there. That'd be nice. That would be nice. If it fails here, it's going right back to the sort of 82, 83 range. Part of me thinks, yeah, you should probably just adjust your stop loss down to there. Here, $80. But you know what? I'd rather get stopped out, reassess, and then re-enter, to be honest. Bitcoin here chilling. Didn't even get quite up to the 50-day EMA for a rejection, unfortunately. Let's see how today plays out. A lot of sellers stepping in yesterday, pushing the price back down from 71 to 70 at the daily close. Michael Saylor, you know, we talked about this yesterday, but I just wanted to reiterate this because it's so insane. Look at how much Bitcoin Michael Saylor is buying right now. Okay, 17,000, almost 18,000 last week. Okay, so extrapolate this out. That's 5x what Bitcoin was mined by miners last week. Okay, so you got to think about this. Let's extrapolate this out. 10 weeks of buying at these kind of impact levels, right? That's 180,000 Bitcoin if you can keep up this kind of volume for the next 10 weeks. Okay? Let's stretch it out to 52 weeks. That's a lot of Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin, man. Think about it. Now, it's not quite a million. It's around 930,000 Bitcoin or something like that. Obviously, if the price of Bitcoin goes up, he's not getting as many Bitcoin for his dollar. But let's just say that if the prices were to stay the same and, you know, ETF buyers meet other OG whale sellers and stuff like that, that's insane, man. And I ran this through Gemini yesterday to check with, well, okay, if we just excluded other buyers and sellers, assume they kind of average each other out to some extent, Sailor buying alone could push the price up to $150,000 to $200,000 if he can keep this kind of momentum going. Now, how is he keeping this momentum going? How did he buy $1.28 billion with Bitcoin last week? It's this. Okay, it's STRC. Every time STRC trades above $100, Sailor's selling. He's also selling MSTR shares, which could be problematic for my MSTR bags, but good for my Bitcoin bags. So I guess, you know, winning either way. But this is insane. This dude's buying huge amounts of coin every day because people are chasing that insane, sweet, tasty yield that STRC offers, which is like 11.5% right now. Okay, this is the Bitcoin central bank, the ultimate Bitcoin credit machine, and perhaps basically an infinite money glitch for Sailor to buy Bitcoin and keep bidding the fucking price up. Very interesting. Don't fade Sailor, man. At the very least, you gotta be applauding this man for doing God's work out here and pumping our bags because he is trying, okay? He is the bid in the books. He is the Eggman, okay? MicroStrategy, I still think this chart looks pretty damn bullish, man. Maybe if there's too much ATM selling from MSTR stocks, perhaps it doesn't get the kind of price velocity we want it to have, but I still think it outperforms Bitcoin regardless. Okay, is it the most high growth stock potentially in the market right now? No, not necessarily. And there's a lot of other things I like putting my money into, but I thought, look at this chart. Man, MSTR looks decent on this chart, so I'm going to put some money into it. But most of my stock portfolio is not in crypto related stuff. Most of it's in like AMD and Qualcomm and stuff like that. Mining stocks, bank stocks, energy stocks, things that are non-crypto. But still, that's a compelling stock chart, in my opinion. Tesla's still stuck in the downtrend. We are monitoring the situation here, guys, and I'll keep you updated either for a long breakout or for a dip buying opportunity when it comes, okay? AMD. I'm actually liking the AMD chart here. You can see it's actually held up pretty nicely right along this support level here. Currently back up at the 20-day, getting rejected there. Pre-markets showing it open justing at the 20-day again. So I think this thing consolidates for probably longer than people like to think that it will. But when it breaks out, it's going to break out super hard. Hopefully to the upside. If it breaks down to the downside, I guess I'm just going to have to buy some more. Okay, because next price target's down. It's interesting. We're going to come back down to this 186 price target level, which was the peak here and peak back here and peak back here. So we've actually flipped this previous resistance here, here, and here into support now. Will that support hold? Well, time will tell. But certainly the chart looks like it has a lot of upside potential to it, assuming that the world does not melt down. If the world does melt down, I guess I'm buying more. Oracle beat earnings, man. Check it out. Estimated earnings were $16.89 billion. Actual earnings came in at $17.19 billion. Okay, Oracle is killing it. Now, a lot of people are saying Oracle's done, it's dusted, it's going to zero. Well, guess who just bought Oracle? Fucking Ray Dalio. That's who. His private family office bought a bunch of Oracle. Worth paying attention to, in my opinion. Ray Dalio kind of knows the stuff, doesn't he? Anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys with all the numbers here, but just quick commentary. Q3 fiscal 2026 was an exceptional, 2025 was an exceptional quarter with financial results that exceeded expectations. First quarter in over 15 years, organic total revenue was non-GAAP earnings. Interesting. Beating the earnings, man. We got to love it. Gotta love it. Oracle looks like this currently, sitting at the 200-week EMA. Now, everybody loves to buy high and sell low, don't we? It's like some sick thing that we do sometimes in markets. But the reality is, if you want to make the money, you got to buy when the prices are low and sell when the prices are high. It's just that simple. I know it sounds simple. Why is everybody fucking up? I don't know, but that's the way it is. Anyway, look at what we have here, okay? We had oversold RSI on the weekly. Not massively, but oversold, okay? We hit it just briefly. We have a MACD bullish crossover setup coming in probably the next 2 to 4 weeks, depending on price action. And the price has been sitting at the 200-week EMA for 5 weeks. Think about it. Think about it, man. Price came down 60%. That's one hell of a correction. That is one hell of a correction right there. But perhaps therein lies an opportunity. Now, I think you also have a pretty easy out on this. If it really cannot hold around this 200-week EMA, then you can get out, right? But if it bounces from here, and it's been consolidating right in these levels right here, if it bounces from here, this thing probably has explosive potential back to the upside, okay? So it's one that I'm watching. Don't have a position yet, but I'll update you guys if I do take a position. And of course, guys, if you're not in the Inner Circle yet, you should come and check it out. Seriously, I love this group. It's super awesome. When you sign up to the Inner Circle, you're going to get access to me, my team of OG researchers, the community. And of course, it's great to have a community who actually has your back. People are sharing ideas, supporting you. Someone to not go the journey alone with, right? That's the important thing. Plus, when you sign up to the Inner Circle, you're going to get a weekly altcoin report, a weekly stock report. You'll get access to our trading signal bot, our token sniffer bot. You'll get our trading course, and much, much more. It's $50 a month. The value is absolutely insane. It won't be $50 forever, but you can lock your price in now. Link down below. You get a 7-day free trial. I'd love to see you in there. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you back in the next one. Peace.